The ancient Egyptian civilization has left behind numerous enigmas that still defy our modern understanding. These include mysterious sites that suggest possible advanced knowledge in ancient Egypt. Number 1. In the heart of the ancient Egyptian city of Abydos lies one of the most enigmatic and fascinating monuments of the ancient world, the Osirian. Discovered at the beginning of the 20th century by archaeologists Flinders Petrie and Margaret Murray, this underground temple is dedicated to the god Osiris, one of the most important deities in the Egyptian pantheon. The Osirian stands out for its unique and mysterious architecture. Unlike other Egyptian temples, it is built at a much lower level, almost as if buried. Its enormous granite blocks and massive design are reminiscent of the megalithic constructions of Stonehenge, which has led some researchers to speculate about its true origin and purpose. One of the most notable features of the Osirian is its central hall, surrounded by giant pillars and flooded with water for much of the year. Some believe the flooding is intentional and could be related to rituals of regeneration and rebirth associated with Osiris, the god of resurrection and life after death. The Osirian also features intriguing astronomical alignments and symbologies that appear to connect the temple to concepts of Egyptian cosmology and mythology. The precision of its construction and the enormity of its stone blocks challenge the conventional construction techniques of the time, suggesting advanced knowledge of engineering and astronomy. Over the years, Osirian has been the subject of numerous studies and debates among archaeologists and historians. Some maintain that the temple could be much older than originally thought, even predating known pharaonic dynasties. However, its true origin remains a mystery. Osirian is not only an archaeological site of great interest, but also a place of deep spiritual connection for many. Every year, many visitors flock to Abydos to explore this enigmatic temple and reflect on the ancient mysteries it holds. In short, the Osirian is a hidden gem of antiquity, a monument that combines monumental architecture, profound symbolism, and an aura of mystery that continues to fascinate all who visit it. Number 2. Pre-Columbian Plains. When we talk about ancient relics representing advanced technology, one of the most unique examples is that of a small gold figurine that remarkably resembles a modern airplane. In fact, it is considered very important evidence for the ancient astronaut theory. In 1997, German aviation experts set out to test the flight capabilities of pre-Columbian aircraft by building a scale model equipped with landing gear and an engine. It was quite simple because there was almost no need to add parts to the model. Nothing affected the perfection of its design. Everything had been made by those natives more than 2,000 years ago. Once the remote-controlled model was completed, it was tested on a makeshift runway, took off, and flew, and it demonstrated how perfect the streamlined design created by this ancient people was, indicating that they must have witnessed something similar. It is not explained how, but it must have been that way. Number 3. The shale disc. Found in the ancient cemeteries of Saqqara, this disc is notable for its exceptional craftsmanship and dimensions. Measuring approximately 2 to 2.5 feet in diameter, its intricate design features concentric circular patterns that have intrigued researchers, suggesting the possibility of being part of a lost ancient technology or an advanced mechanical device. Although some suggest that it could have been used to direct water, the arrangement of its 3 lobes does not seem to support this theory. Instead, it appears to have been part of a rotating mechanism around a central axis. The craftsmanship of the disc is truly remarkable, with thin blades or petals extending from the center, each perfectly formed and symmetrically arranged. The curious burn marks found on the disc have yet to be fully explained, deepening the mystery surrounding the artifact. Some speculate that it could have been a time-measuring device, an astronomical instrument, or machinery for unknown purposes. Connected to the disc are 3 pieces that resemble gear parts, suggesting a link to advanced technology. Comparisons with artifacts from other ancient civilizations known for their engineering prowess, such as the Antikythera mechanism, support the idea of a knowledge of mechanical engineering among ancient cultures. This similarity suggests a possible lost tradition of advanced technology, raising questions about the true capabilities of ancient civilizations. Number 4. The Bird of Saqqara. In 1898, archaeologists discovered what they called the tomb of Pati-Iman in Saqqara, Egypt. Inside the tomb they found a mummy surrounded by her earthly belongings, carefully arranged on a nearby table to accompany him in the afterlife. Among the usual array of pottery, tools and other funerary objects, they found something unusual, a small model of a bird. When they catalogued this bird model, it caught the attention of archaeologists due to its almost perfect symmetry. The bird's wings measured just over 17 centimeters and it weighed only 39 grams. Curiously, the bird had no feet and its wings were attached to a slot in the upper part of the body, extending outwards as if in flight rather than folded back, like typical Egyptian bird models. Studying it closely, they noticed that the Saqqara bird had wings that were streamlined and unpainted, except for an eye on one side. The most striking thing was that its tail was rotated at 90 degrees, similar to a modern stabilizer. At first glance, it looked like a model airplane, which was surprising since airplanes had not yet been invented in 1898 when it was discovered. At first, archaeologists thought it was a spiritual representation and kept it in a glass case for 70 years. In 1969, Dr. Khalil Messiah, a professor of anatomy and member of several aeronautical clubs, identified it as an ancient model glider. His theories, although not supported by solid evidence, suggested that the ancient Egyptians may have had advanced technologies. Messiah speculated about the lack of paint on the bird to save weight and proposed that its vertical tail acted as a rudder. Although his theory about the lack of a horizontal stabilizer lacked evidence, he boldly claimed that the bird represented a full-size airplane. This discovery continues to be the subject of debate, challenging our ideas about ancient technology. Number 5. Mystery of the Blue Stones of Stonehenge. Much is known about Stonehenge, the famous English stone circle, but it remains a place of great mysteries. One of them is the matter of just over 40 of the site's smallest stones, known as blue stones. They do not come from anywhere in the surrounding area. Instead, they were quarried from the Preseli Hills in Pembrokeshire, Wales. That's almost 320 kilometers away and raises the question of how someone could have transported them so far 5,000 years ago. In 2019, a new study identified the precise location in the hills where the stones were taken from. Scholars have determined that the rocks were quarried using wedges to open vertical points between each natural rock pillar. At the sites, human-made stone and wooden platforms have been found in the valley below the site of Carn Godog in the Preseli Hills, presumably made and used by the architects of Stonehenge. This could ultimately explain where the stones came from and how they were dislodged from the native hillsides, but it does not explain why or how they were transported across such an enormous distance. Number 6. The skull with a metal implant is one of the most fascinating and mysterious discoveries in modern archaeology. Found at a pre-Columbian site in the Lambayeque Valley, Peru, this skull belongs to the Siccan culture, which flourished between 750 and 1375 AD. What makes this find extraordinary is the implantation of a metal plate in the skull, apparently performed as an early form of cranial surgery. The plate, made of a gold and copper alloy, was placed to cover a traumatic head injury, possibly caused by a blunt force blow. This procedure shows an advanced level of medical knowledge and surgical skills for the time. Studies of osseointegration, where bone fuses with metal, suggest that the individual survived the surgery, indicating a remarkable understanding of medicine and the skill of pre-Columbian surgeons. The Siccan culture is known for its skills in metallurgy, especially in the creation of highly complex ceremonial and ornamental objects. However, the application of these skills in medicine opens new perspectives on the level of technological and scientific development of the ancient civilizations of South America. This implanted skull also raises questions about the purpose of the surgery. It could have been a medical intervention to save the individual's life, a ritual practice to treat spiritual illnesses, or a combination of both. The precision of the cutting and placement of the plate suggests advanced technique and a deep understanding of human anatomy. In addition, the finding contributes to the debate on the exchange of knowledge between ancient cultures. Some theorize that there may have been contact with other advanced civilizations, allowing for the exchange of medical and technological techniques. In summary, the metal-implanted skull of the Saikan culture is a striking testimony to the ingenuity and skill of pre-Columbian civilizations, revealing unknown aspects of their medical knowledge and their ability to perform complex surgical interventions. Number 7. The Pharaoh's Medal, Tutankhamun and his legacy. Tutankhamun was an Egyptian ruler who reigned from the end of the 18th dynasty in 141 BC until his death in 1324 BC, at the age of 19. Although Tutankhamun's fame paled in comparison to that of his successors, during his reign the young king was frequently praised by the Egyptian people for correcting the injustices of his predecessor and reforming Egypt after Akhenaten left it in turmoil. The young pharaoh's global popularity arose primarily due to European exploration of the various royal tombs more than 3,000 years after his death. The fascination with Tutankhamun, as we know him today, arose more from his tomb than from the king himself. Howard Carter, an English archaeologist and Egyptologist, discovered Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings, Luxor, in 1922, almost completely intact. These discoveries were significant to archaeologists, as they sparked renewed interest in ancient Egypt and the wonders of Luxor, establishing Howard Carter and Tutankhamun as household names around the world. Number 8. Jade stones with mysterious sculptures. Residents on the outskirts of Puebla, near Veracruz, Mexico, found in March 2017 jade stones with mysterious sculptures that appear to represent humanoid beings with large heads, similar to gray aliens. This finding was reported on Twitter by journalist Javier Lopez Diaz from Cinco Radio. The stones, studied by experts, present engravings that could represent a real contact between beings from other worlds and the Mayan or Aztec civilizations. The authenticity of these artifacts seems to be confirmed by the inspection of a nearby cave, where more remains and petroglyphs were found that reproduce scenes of an encounter between extraterrestrial beings and pre-Hispanic cultures. Various sculpted designs can be seen on the documented stones, including spaceships and beings resembling gray aliens. One of the stones shows a spaceship with a being holding an oval object and a pre-Hispanic chief with an ear of corn. The discoverers called these stones first meaning stones. Researchers suggest that ancient locals would have had contact with extraterrestrials and documented it through rock engravings. Hector Pavon, in charge of the team's security, stated, "They are extraterrestrial ships, and more than anything they are teaching us that the extraterrestrials had contact with the Mayans, dialoguing and making exchanges." Number 9. The Lamp of Dendera, carved into the walls of the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt, is an intriguing depiction of an electric lamp. The image shows a series of cables that appear to connect to a power source and emit light, which has led to speculation about the existence of electrical technology in ancient Egypt. Although some experts suggest that the depiction could have a symbolic meaning rather than being a literal description of an electric lamp, the mystery surrounding this image remains a matter of debate. Number 10. The Dropa disk is an enigmatic object discovered in a cave in the Bayan Karaula region of China in 1938. It consists of a series of stone discs engraved with strange symbols that have not yet been deciphered. It is estimated that they are more than 10,000 years old. The story behind the discovery has fueled theories about extraterrestrial visitors and advanced ancient civilizations. The discs are believed to be associated with a tribe called Dropa, described in local legends as small, fragile beings. Although some researchers have suggested that the discs could be evidence of past alien contacts, others consider them as a possible representation of the culture and technology of an ancient human civilization. The authenticity and exact meaning of the Dropa discs remain topics of debate and speculation in the scientific community. Number 11. The unfinished obelisk. In the quarries of Aswan lies an unfinished obelisk made of granite that could change our view of the ancient Egyptian world. The Egyptians carved 3 sides before abandoning it due to a crack in the granite. This mystery has baffled historians, who wonder how these structures were carved and transported from a single block of stone. Although never completed, the project has provided valuable information about ancient Egyptian masonry techniques. During the investigations, tool marks from the workers and colored lines marking the location of the workers were discovered. The unfinished obelisk is just the beginning of a great adventure through the ages. Number 12. The Phaistos disc, an enigmatic clay object discovered in Crete in 1908. It dates back to the 2nd millennium BC and presents a series of inscriptions in an undeciphered script. Its circular shape and the markings on its surface suggest elaborate manufacturing. Over the years, it has baffled experts due to its complexity and the mystery surrounding its purpose and meaning. Various theories have been proposed about its origin, from an astronomical calendar to a board game or a religious artifact. Despite efforts to decipher its inscriptions, the Phaistos disc remains an unsolved enigma. Its discovery has led to widespread speculation about the Minoan civilization and its possible relationship with other ancient cultures. Although similar objects have been found in the region, none have shed definitive light on the disc's purpose. Its study continues to be a challenge for archaeologists and linguists, and its meaning continues to be the subject of debate in the academic community. Number 13. The Lady of the Barfusser Church. In October 1975, a team of workers found a brick-walled burial chamber inside the Barfusser Church in Basel, Switzerland, during a renovation project. Inside the tomb, they found a pair of well-preserved coffins and, within them, 2 sets of human remains. One set was nothing more than a skeleton, but the other was the mummified corpse of a woman who would later be known as the Lady of the Barfusser Church. Later research identified her as Anna Katharina Bischoff, who was born in Strasbourg, France, in March 1719 and died in Basel in August 1787. She probably owes the location of her burial, which would normally be reserved for people of high social status, to the fact that she was the wife of Pastor Lucas Hurler, who served in the church for many years. In 2015, another series of scientific tests revealed something much more surprising. Anna is a very distant relative of Boris Johnson, the disgraced former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. We wonder what this pastor's wife would think of Boris Johnson if she had been alive to see it.